Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I want to talk about tanks in Black Ops Cold War multiplayer because tanks, even stronger ones than in Modern Warfare 19, are coming back in the new Combined Arms mode, which is effectively ground war. This is going to be a shorter video because the opinion expressed within is very simple, which is, I hate tanks in Call of Duty. Oh my god, do I ever hate tanks. So I've got a lot of negative stuff to talk about on that. Do want to give myself a brief shout out, creator code Driftor, if you want to support me in Modern Warfare Warzone or maybe Black Ops Cold War in the future, which does technically make this video sponsored by Activision. But now back to complaining about tanks. Black Ops Cold War will have bigger maps where you play 12v12 on a mode called Combined Arms. It's very similar to Ground War, but on a smaller scale. The battleship map has jet skis for fast transport, and they have PT boats that have like flat cannons and miniguns and stuff like them mounted to them. The PT boats may have guns on them and they may be lethal, but they can be killed by one C4 or a reasonable amount of gunfire. The snow map, which is the other big one we got to play based in Uzbekistan, has snowmobiles for fast transportation and tanks. And oh my god, do I ever hate these tanks. I think that the idea behind the game design was that each big map should have a light vehicle for transport and a lethal vehicle that people can have like vehicle fights with. But the tanks aren't fun. The boats on the battleship map are fine. I know that Chaos went on a big streak. I can deal with the boats. There are ways to kill the boats. You know, they die with a reasonable amount of gunfire, C4 or something. But the tanks, they just don't. And what's frustrating is that they're not even kill streaks. They just spawn in the map and you can hop right into them. The guns on the tanks deal a metric ton of damage, not just to infantry, but to other vehicles too. They one-shot the snowmobiles. A tank can basically two-tap another tank in almost every single circumstance. It deals a ton of damage on your first shot to a tank. So tank battles in Cold War are basically going to turn into who shoots first, like Halo style. And if you're a little bit behind, you're just kind of screwed. The biggest problem with these is that there's no reasonable way to kill a tank. The lock-on rocket launcher that I had did not seem to do very much damage against them. I would estimate between 5 and 6 lock-on rockets to take down a tank. C4s didn't seem to hurt them very much. Grenades were pretty much next to useless. And gunfire will actually deal damage to them. If you just shoot them with your regular basic gun, it'll deal damage to the tank, which is a good thing, but it deals almost no damage. Even with the cavalry barrels on, that's supposed to boost your damage 2, 3, 4, 500% or something like that, depending on the gun, it just feels like you're wasting your bullets shooting a tank. Whereas if you're shooting one of the PT boats with miniguns and stuff on them, it doesn't deal a lot of damage, but a couple of people could probably spray one down if they were running cavalry barrels, but you can't do that with a tank. There is a way to kill it in one shot. You can use your landmine specialist ability, but you have to get the tank to drive over the mine. So not only do you have to have your specialist ability available, which you only get like 2, maybe 3 per match, you have to somehow get close enough to the tank, put the mine down, and get the tank to drive over the mine to die. And they might not drive over it, they might just see it and shoot it, and it's very frustrating. Basically, in the mode that I played, the only way to kill a tank is to sacrifice a lot of your lives for it, or to have 3 or 4 people all shooting lock-on rockets at the same time. I think 4 people emptying all their lock-on rockets would probably kill one, but that was really about it. Meanwhile, this thing can just bumble around the map, one-shotting everything, one-shotting vehicles, one-shotting infantry, clearing objectives. It's slow, it's really slow. I guess you can avoid it, but it's just not fun. I hate this. I really do hate the tanks. The tanks are the most annoying part of Ground War in Modern Warfare 2019. And I love Ground War in Modern Warfare. That's one of the most fun modes in the game for me. But it's frustrating in that mode when teams that are losing get kind of like an unlimited supply of tanks. So no matter how many you blow up, there's always these super high health tanks rolling into the gunfights that you can't do anything about at all. You're just completely helpless. You can't even kill them. But you can kill them more easily than the Black Ops Cold War tanks. These are truly tanky tanks. These are like the Reinhardt and Roadhog of tanks. They are really difficult to deal with. But in Black Ops Cold War, it's not 32v32, it's 12v12, so you have a lot less people free to chunk C4s and mines and missiles and stuff at the tanks. If you want it gone, you're probably going to have to do it yourself. And it feels to me like Treyarch missed the part of player feedback from the last Modern Warfare about how much we hated tanks in Ground War, and they just thought it'd be a good idea to bring them back. I don't know, maybe somebody thought it'd be fun for casual gamers, but tanks could single-handedly suck the fun out of combat arms. Not combat arms, that's a different game. Combined arms for me. The combined arms maps were my favorite of all the things that I played. I love the boat map, I love the snow map, I like the way the maps played, I thought they were fun, but the tanks on the snow map were decidedly unfun. And this is the point where I'm going to peel back a little bit and say that maybe my playtime didn't give me the best experience. Maybe I'm wrong about some of this stuff. Maybe there is an easier way to kill them that I just don't know about yet, that I haven't figured out yet. I hope that maybe somehow in the future they're not that big a deal or considered not very good, or they have some big weakness or flaw that makes people not want to use them. So maybe when the full game comes out, you won't have tanks stomping around the map blowing everything up. And I also hope that Treyarch listens to this feedback and maybe scales them back or makes them weaker about something. Please, 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 just let me be wrong. Just let me be wrong and paranoid about my hatred for tanks in Black Ops Cold War. I would love if 3 months from now we get to revisit this video and all the things that I was complaining and whinging about were just not real, that there was some other launcher or some you shoot them from the back or the side or disable a tread, or the cavalry barrels get readjusted, or C4 kills the tank if you stick the treads, or something like that. Some way to deal with them that I don't know about would be great. That would make all of this kind of complaining and whinging useless, but for now, I'm really worried about the tanks. They could be really, really, really frustrating. So guys, that's all for this shorter, simpler video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. And I'm gonna go ahead and roll about 1 minute to 2 minutes of raw gameplay because YouTube rewards me for making 8-minute videos instead of 7-minute videos. So, Drifter out.
Hostile stun grenade. Hardpoint lost. Hardpoint is secure. We are pulling ahead. Hardpoint located.